Unity, joy, peace, love. We welcome our ancestors to bring us unity, love, joy, peace. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Woo! All right, all right, all right, all right. We are here on this December 24th, 2023. This year is almost over. Hallelujah. We give thanks and praise to the Most High for bringing us through another very interesting journey on planet Earth. Thank you all for joining me. And I see that we already have Washita Wellness Center here. Wow, is this your Dealy? I don't know what that means. Wow, is this your Dealy? And she says, dwelling. Great. Yes, this is my dwelling. Hallelujah. Washita Wellness Center. Thank you for joining us. Season's greeting, joy to the world. Hallelujah. Yes, we can have joy in this world if we choose. Now, this is what everyone calls, okay, Blog Talk, I'll keep trying. This is what everyone calls Christmas Eve, December 24th. I heard a really cute joke that said, what comes before Christmas Eve? Now, I'll give you a chance to think about that. Eve, what comes before Christmas Eve? Adam, Christmas Adam. Boo, boo, boo. Okay, that was the joke of the night. But Joy to the World, that's a song that we've all heard many, many years on this night, many, many years every year. Great being, beloveds. Hi, Empress Regina is in the house. We got lots of royalty already. Washita Wellness here and Empress Regina. Royalty is coming in on this purple day, purple evening. We are redeeming the purple color, not just the book. And we're going to talk more about the book, the movie, all that. But this is an especially interesting time we're in. For those of you who don't know, there's no Christmas in Bethlehem this year. Every year there's been a manger and a display in Jerusalem over and near Bethlehem. Not this year. It's been canceled. Why? Why has it been canceled? I'll give you the spiritual reason. Because the man that we celebrate his birthday this season, called Jesus, or who I call Yeshua HaMashiach, he was a refugee. Spiritually, the refugees are speaking loudly tonight. And so many of us may not remember, but in the Bible, why did Mary and Joseph leave Bethlehem to give birth to this baby Jesus? They were running because Herod wanted to kill the babies in Palestine. That's why they had to leave Palestine and go to Bethlehem. Leave Palestine and go to Does that sound familiar? So bottom line, no Christmas in Bethlehem this year. It's kind of sad, but yet these are amazing times we're in. We're transitioning from third dimension, chaotic, war, conflict, division, anger, hate, to fourth and fifth dimension, peace, love, joy. So joy to the world, my sisters and brothers, is coming. But we're going to have a lot of chaos before we get there, because these egomaniacs, I call them egomaniacs, who love war, They love war, killing people, dropping bombs. We got to get through this transition before these MFs wake up and say, nah, that's not the way we want to do business anymore. So tonight we're going to go up to the higher chakra, the crown chakra, and talk about things of purple tonight. I love the color purple. In fact, my wall right next to my bed is all purple. Why? Because purple holds a very special color. But tonight, first, we want to start off by talking about this new movie that will be out tomorrow in the United States. I think it's already been out in other countries, but tomorrow a movie called The Color Purple will be out. Now, let me just give you a little history of this Color Purple book or novel, because that's where our found. We're going to start with the novel, a book that was written. So I admire the author Alice Walker. Alice Walker is the author of the book The Color Purple, the novel, and she wrote this in 1982. So 40, 50 years, 41, 39 years later, approximately, this woman wrote a book, 39 years approximately. And it won a Pulitzer Prize in 1983. A movie was made with the same title in 1985 with Oprah Winfrey starring in it, Whoopi Goldberg. A musical Broadway production ran from 2005 to 2008. A Broadway revival opened in 2015 for 2 years. And now in 2023, a film adaptation of the musical from Broadway will be on the screen tomorrow in the United States, 12/25/23. Oh my goodness, the controversy over this movie is amazing. So that's why I want to redeem. We don't want the color to die, but the controversy around this movie, this novel, is amazing to me. For instance, if you don't know who Dr. Boyce Watkins is, he's an economist and a very smart business teacher, probably very wealthy because he deals with stocks. And he had just put out a video that said, The Color Purple film is a very disturbing film. I watched it with my partner and we were like, well, there's a lot of truth in what he's saying, But I'm thinking I'm going to go see the movie for myself. And because for one, John Batiste, one of my favorite musicians who plays the piano, and he's just a gorgeous human being, beautiful soul human being. I love John Batiste. He is going to be in this movie, so I've got to go see it just to see him. And because it's already so controversial, blah, 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 I think I need to put my eyes on the film and have my own analysis, because I am an author myself. I have written 3 books. They're not on the New York Times bestseller list. I didn't do hardly any marketing, but I sold a lot of my dad's book, the guy behind me. This was my most popular book behind me, Sherman J. Howard, Football and Beyond. It was about my dad. I promoted that more than my other 2 books, and I sold lots. I probably sold over 100 copies of this book alone. And then it's out of print and it costs a lot of money just to print it. So I'm just letting it sleep for a while. So I've written 3 books and I respect and honor the journey of writing a book. It is such an amazing lesson in persistence, dedication, patience, and so much more to start journaling about your life and writing it down. Now, my 3 books were all nonfiction. They were true documents about my life, my dad's life. And my first book, My Body is Talking to Me, was about my journey to understand my physical problems and health and nutrition. And then my last book, Downsizing into Joy from 30,000 Feet, is about my journey to tiny house living and minimalism. And that's an ebook. That's the first book that I did not have printed, but it's available as an ebook. So I loved the journey And I'm a writer. I'm just a writer. It's just a matter of taking the time, journaling, writing it down, finding an editor, getting a publisher, and then getting the money to print it and then distributing. And the most important part is marketing it if you want to make money on it. I wanted to just get the message out. So I want to start by introducing you to Alice Walker, this author who has created this work of art that is now has been through such an amazing journey as a movie, two Broadway productions, a musical, and now another movie musical. Ah, she has to be respected and honored. She's from Georgia. So I want to introduce you to a little bit to her first, because I think it's important that we know the author of this novel that won a Pulitzer Prize. The novel is actually fiction. So I had someone text me, well, it's a true story, so you should go watch the music. Well, it's not really a true story. It's based on her journey and how she saw things. But she won a Pulitzer Prize because of the fiction in the story. So I want you to see and hear who this beautiful person is. And from there, we're going to learn more about, let's see, The Color Purple, Alice Walker. You're going to learn more about the controversy that's going on around this woman. Okay, let me find Alice, The Color Purple, Alice. Okay. Her classic walk on her classic novel. It is a classic novel, Spielberg's film, and so much more. So I want to find, let's see, I want to find the video so that you can see this beautiful woman as well as hear about her story. And I have to find it. Okay, here it is. Okay. And then we're gonna look into what the color itself. What is so many people love the color purple. The purple color. You know, we got to distinguish between the purple color and the book, The Color Purple. So let us listen to beautiful soul, Alice Walker. Here we go.
One of the joys of work is where
that's not it. That's not it. I've got so many trailers, Secrets of the Crown. Okay, Tarij, Alice Walker profile. I may have missed that one. Okay. Alice Walker profile. Okay, let's play that first.
One of the joys of work is where it takes us. You know, how it helps us develop. That's why it's so important to do work that you absolutely love. It's the only way you really grow is who you're meant to be. The mysterious wonder of life is that you just never know where anything is going. I started writing when I was 8 or 9, and I think part of it was out of the isolation of the injury. My brothers and I were playing Cowboys and Indians. One of my brothers shot me in the eye, and I lost the vision. So because of that, I was able to get a partial scholarship to college. And so in the end, you can't even really regret your misfortunes because they led you somewhere. The whole South was in an uproar because we were trying to change the very system that my parents had suffered under. I went to Mississippi and rejoined the civil rights movement. I think it's important to have faith in one's gift. The movement was so much about legal things. It was a huge act of faith that clearly, if I had been prepared as a writer to be here to witness this, there's a meaning, and eventually it will be clear. What it feels like when I'm working is so wonderful. It's like just really getting it that you are one with the whole organism of life. The prize is life. You know, I mean, with one. That's the thing that if I could say to any artist, if you manage to get it done, you've won. I mean, what more is there? I mean, you can have people agree that you won. That's nice. But basically, the real joy is to have done it.
In The Color Purple happened to people in my family long before I was born. My grandmother was murdered by a man who wanted to be her lover. It really influenced my imagination because I really missed her. I missed not having this elder and this grandmother. It's not autobiographical in the sense that I knew hardly anybody. I listened to people tell stories about the family. Part of the creation of The Color Purple is just out of a longing to be more intimate with my ancestors at a time when I didn't exist.
In a series of letters to God, Alice has created an inspiring story of an unforgettable woman who, through love, finds the strength to triumph over adversity and discover her own voice in the world.
Dear God, I'm 14 years old. I've always been a good girl. Maybe you can give me a sign. Let me know what's happening to me.
The Color Purple is soon published and over 5 million copies sold. And to her surprise, Alice's work is honored with the Pulitzer Prize, the first African-American woman ever to receive this prestigious award.
Well, at the time that I wrote The Color Purple, which was, over 20 years ago, I was deeply in love with one of the cutest men on the planet, and we were just deliciously happy. And so I felt that the work that I was doing in the novel was somehow carrying this charge of love and passion, and that it was rooted in something. And I always thought of it just as a gift.
It's 1985 and Alice has moved on. The last thing she expects is to get a call from award-winning director Steven Spielberg. He also has a vision: to bring The Color Purple to the big screen.
I auditioned for Alice Walker. I didn't just meet her. I knew I was going to audition. I knew that she had the power to say, for whatever reason, I don't think he's right to turn my Pulitzer Prize-winning story into a motion picture. And I went to meet her to sell myself. I hadn't done that in a decade. And I was enthusiastic about it too, because at that point I really wanted to tell that story.
Soon, his cast of relative unknowns are thrust into the limelight, and his film, honored that year with 11 Oscar nominations, becomes an instant success with audiences. The Color Purple legacy lives on.
All right. So that is the author who I wanted you to meet, Alice Walker, a young woman who wrote her story. My dad, I wrote this book with my dad. It took 6 years to write this book. And he was never that excited about it like I was. And he was like, yeah, everybody has a story. And so here we are, really diving deep tonight into Alice Walker's story. And again, it was a fiction. It was a fiction of creation, not necessarily all true. It was actually her mind creating her life and her journey and dramatizing it and coming up with this story that many of us are familiar with. If you're not familiar with it, I want to introduce you to the trailer for for the new musical film. Now, here's a comment. Washita Wellness says, yes, the purple color is a religion. They are from the purple planet. Really now? That's interesting. Okay, something to think about for us tonight. The purple planet. Yeah, sure, there's a purple planet. There's all kind of colors out there that we may not be familiar with even. But let's look at the trailer. As I said, for those of you who are just joining me, there's a long history of the novel that started in 1983-ish, 40 years ago, by Alice Walker, won a Pulitzer Prize in 1983. They made a movie in 1985 with Steven Spielberg and as the director, producer, and then Oprah Winfrey was in the movie. Then there was a musical Broadway produced from 2005 to 2008. Then a Broadway revival opened in 2015 through 2017. Now, here we are, current day, tomorrow, 2023, there's a new film musical adoption of the musical that was on Broadway. So let me show you the trailer. If you haven't seen the trailer, I just think there are so many things in this trailer that we could pull out and wonder, what were they thinking? What is this all about? And how can we bring some balance and some purpose and divine energy into this what is now kind of controversial, the whole movie. And so let me pull up the trailer. Let's see, it's trailer here. Where are you? And when you see it, I want you to just take note of some of the visuals that are going to come up for this. And it's Warner Brother production. You know, we just want to see another movie production by Warner Brothers, right? And that's what we're going to take a look at. The trailer, full circle, 40 years. What's going on with this movie?
Today, our teacher taught us about a place called Africa. She said our mamas come from Queens over there. That means that we royalty.
I don't need you to love me.
Afternoon. I needs me a wife.
Even if we have to part, you and me, us have one heart.
I don't need
Get off my land!
you.
I write you every day.
Daddy!
Nothing but death can keep me from it.
Oh, Miss Celie.
You must ain't got no kinfolk around these parts.
All I had was my sister. She was the only one ever loved me.
I'm gonna hold my head up. I'm gonna put my shoulders back.
It's time for you to see the world.
There's gonna be some changes made.
Put it on. This ain't me.
Hush.
We need to look like we belong. Now see this smile and color. Sweet and loving God.
Showing my heart to the folks that I'm close to.
Now we're talking.
Hey, hi.
Dear Celie, we are more than just kings and queens. We are at the center of the universe.
Oh, yes, I am.
So many people are anticipating this movie tomorrow because it's a new and updated, and it's a musical. They've even got prisoners with stripes singing, digging dirt and singing. So I'm wondering what that's all about. So Grant, I'm going to go check this out because it's just, as Dr. Boyce Watkins says, he thinks the new movie is very disturbing. Disturbing in what way? Well, one of the things he mentioned was that they put black men in a very negative light, or they don't put black men in a positive light. And so even the little scene with the men in stripes dancing and singing, they're in prison, but they're dancing and singing. So this is something new. So Warner Brothers, as many of you may or may not know, is a huge movie production company. Oprah Winfrey was involved. Steven Spielberg was involved. Even Quincy Jones was involved in this movie. So quite a few people participated in bringing this novel to reality in a movie theater and production. So it's going to be even more interesting after the movie starts, how many people have positive reviews. The music is probably fantastic. Anything Quincy Jones does is like fantastic. But there's already some controversy from one of the actresses, Taraji Henson, has put out, was interviewed. You know, they had all the pre-interviews for the movie and production. Oprah Winfrey and all these people were taking pictures and going to the premiere. And Taraji Henson was interviewed. And this is what caused not only Dr. Boyce Watkins, but many people to question not only the message of this movie about a woman who grew up in the southern Georgia and the hardships and dysfunctional relationships that she experienced, and not to mention incest, and that all of that is in the original movie. So we can take a look at this interview of Taraji and just understand, I think more than anything, the stress that she has been feeling being a popular actress. And now where she feels at the end of this movie, she's not elated and excited, and she's complaining about, they're not paying me enough. So let's watch this interview of Taraji Henson, a very beautiful, popular young woman. And just the interview itself just talks about Hollyweird. You know, that's what this is really saying to me, is Hollyweird is Hollyweird. So let's listen to Taraji Henson and her stress, her concern, her conflict in being this very popular actress and the reality she's coming to about it.
Thinking about it?
Okay, I'm going to actually play it on my studio as well, just to be sure. Okay, here we go.
And I heard on the street, Taraji, you had the audacity to say you're thinking about stopping acting. We said, stop talking. Are you thinking about it? I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over. You get tired. I hear people go, you work a lot. Well, have to. The math ain't mathing. And when you start working a lot, you know, you have a team. Big bills come with what we do. We don't do this alone. The fact that we're up, there's a whole entire team behind us. They have to get paid. So when you hear someone saying, oh, such and such made $10 million, no, that's not, that didn't make it to their account. Know that off the top, Uncle Sam is getting 50%. Okay? So do the math. Now we have $5 million. Your team is getting 30% or whatever your team is off of what you gross, not after what Uncle Sam took. Now do the math. So I'm only human, and it seems every time I do something and I break another glass ceiling. When it's time to renegotiate, I'm at the bottom again, like I never did what I just did, and I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired.
I get that.
It wears on you, you know? Because what does that mean? What is that telling me?
What is it telling me? Yeah. And what does it tell me? Yeah.
You know? And if I can't fight for them coming up behind me, then what the fuck am I doing? I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, don't apologize. Don't apologize. I think it's an important message for people to hear because we see the lights, camera, action.
And then they tell me we don't translate overseas.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing that my entire career, 20 plus years in the game, and I hear the same thing, and I see what you do for another production, and when it's time for us to go to bed, you don't have any money. They play in your face. And I'm just supposed to smile and grin and bear it and just keep, like, enough is enough. That's why I have other things. I have my TPH brand. I have my mental wellness. I have other things because this industry, if you let it, it'll steal your soul. But I refuse to let that happen.
There's a song in there about life can never break your soul. It's a quote from one of the songs that Halle sings in the movie. It seems like this is the right time for people to hear something like this, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was deliberate, wasn't it, Blitz?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, everything you did in this movie was deliberate.
Wow. And I mean, just
hearing that is...
Yes. And
you have to take that in for a minute.
I have
you really
to.
do. I don't want to gloss over that.
I mean, and T, just so you know, calling you was giving you your flowers. I just want you to know that. We've talked about this before. We've talked about the challenges. And for me, you, Fantasia, Danielle, knowing how hard they fought to not have you all here, and knowing how hard we had to fight to ensure that is what you just said right now rings so true. And we have to be brave, y'all. We have to be brave. And, I'm sure there are filmmakers here or listening to this podcast. You have to go with your heart. And
you had to fight for this, Kat. You had to fight for this.
Single one of them. And
what was the fight for you? What was the what was the pushback?
Well, first of all, it's exactly what you're saying, T, which is that especially for Black women, and I'm going to be very specific, it was like you were never here. And the fact that each one of you, every single one of you had to audition for this role, roles that was second nature to you.
Second nature, yes.
Roles that no one should even question. Just the minute the name comes up, the question is, how much do you have?
Yes.
I learned something very important here, that especially, it's not enough just to come in and be a director. You have to come in, be a therapist, be a friend, be a brother, be a champion. I understand that we have to break cycles. Understand that what happens here is going to be an example. And every time that I look now, and I've seen this movie now, I don't know how many times, because I have to sit through it all every time.
Do you sit through it and watch it from the beginning?
As often as I can.
Because you want to hear the audience reaction?
That, but also, I've run into people who are like, "Oh, I've seen this movie 3 times already." First of all, I'm going, how? Seriously, because we just started. And that's what I told you when I run into you today, is knowing how much the original, how many times the rewatch value.
Yes.
I've been so moved knowing how much how many times over. That's the real gift. The real gift is that this is going to keep giving. And the work that you guys have done in this film is going to inspire way beyond what we can see.
Amen. Yeah.
Right? And that, for me, ultimately, there's no award reward they can ever give us for that. Knowing the healing power that exists in this work, because we all came in harmony to do that healing work. I mean, most times rehearsal with therapy, we'll literally read a few lines, talk about the scene, and then we break into family. And I know this person like this. My own uncle is like, my own father's like, my mother went through this. And before you knew it, we had built this real bond. And so I say this.
And that bond came very quickly.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
But I also say this: you've got to choose right. You know, if you're a director, it's a huge responsibility because you're going to be the one with them every day. No one should tell you who to pick for this work. It is sacred work. Again, going back to that, and if our collective faith, I say this all the time, your faith in me, my faith in you, is how this movie comes together. There's no amount of paying a superstar to come play Suge will give this performance. This is you believing, right? And so I say that to say, I hope the work we did breaks those terrible and discriminatory ways. They get to see that we did it our way and we won. And I think, you know, you were saying something earlier, Danielle, about just seeing it, you know, being 15 and seeing it as possible. And I think that I hope that a director will see it. And I have to be also very honest, watching Ryan Coogler do a similar thing, picking people he loved and trusted, right? And I watched the love and camaraderie that they had during those press runs for The Color Purple, and I said, "Thank God, I can see that." And so, Black Panther, Black Panther, and I remember saying, "This is what I want." For myself, when my time comes, I want people I love and who love me. Right. And hopefully now somebody now has two. They can go Black Panther and The Color Purple. Oh, I remember that Color Purple press run. It's a thing. And that's what I want.
It is a thing, though.
And that's
it really
what I
is.
want. And I think that that's what this is all about, is just being exemplar.
That's right.
And having something that somebody can look at and go, wow, that's something to aspire to.
Right.
All right. So those were the people behind the camera, in front of the camera, who created this beautiful work of art. And even if there is a critic out there like Dr. Boyce Watkins, who said The Color Purple is a very disturbing movie. Yikes. What does that mean? Well, it's disturbing to a lot. Even the book, I had someone text me when I sent out my flyer. Someone texted me, I hated the book. I read one chapter and I closed the book. Okay. Why did Alice Walker write this book? Because it's her story. If someone opens a book and they don't like it, they have a choice not to read it, right? Because they don't want to read that story. And it's a fiction production mostly, but why is it so many people don't like her story? It's painful. Incest, physical abuse, men abusing women, women abusing men, all of that together, all that's happening even today. In fact, Dr. Watkins told a very touching story of why this week he just can't look at a movie that is putting down Black men, because he already sees the trauma in the Black community this week alone, where a father killed his wife in front of their 8-year-old child. Another incident where his wife, Dr. Boykin's wife, had one of her students was shot by her son. These are things that are happening in the community that are very disturbing, and there's no explanation. So why would you be upset about a movie called The Color Purple that doesn't portray men in the highest purple royalty position that they might deserve, even if they were abusive? Because that's been rampant for many, many years. Well, let me just share with you why Alice Walker titled this book The Color Purple, which will help us get into this powerful color and what it represents energetically and in the view and perspective and vision of so many people. She wrote in chapter 73 of her book, Shug Avery, who is the main character, says that she believes if a person walks by the color of purple in a field without stopping to notice and admire it. This is it from her book, The Color Purple. She believes that the character is thinking about her relationship with the creator. And she thinks in the book, she writes that the creator doesn't like it when you're walking past a color purple because it's such a brilliant, beautiful, royal representation of the earth and the universe. And she goes on to say, if you go in the field and you don't stop to notice it and admire it, that makes the creator angry. Oh, well, okay. In this statement, Shug summarizes her religious philosophy. To her, God is not some distant deity living on high, but a genderless, raceless being that wants people to appreciate and enjoy life. It is also significant that she chose the color of purple, for it is the color of royalty, and yet a really deep purple seems almost to be black. Now that's the thought and the emotion behind the author's relationship with her characters and her creator. Characters in the book and her creator. That her definition of the creator is this genderless, not male or female, raceless, not black, white, yellow, brown, any of that, being that wants people to appreciate and enjoy life. How do you feel about that definition? That's not my personal definition, but I appreciate her having that thought about who is this deity that we call God, creator, Allah. So important these days when we have so much controversy and war going on over how our relationship is with our creator, especially now that there's a battle between Arabs and Jews, and they're confused. All of them are confused because their solution is to kill more people, bomb more people. And do they even have a relationship with the creator is what I'm asking. So let me go to, let's see, we have a caller who's pressed 1. If you have a question or comment, please press 1. If you're in the studio, we are talking about redeeming the color purple, not the book, not the story, not the movie, but the color and what it represents. But right now we want to just share our views about what does the book and the author and the new movie mean to you, because it's going to influence many people. There's going to be lots of eyes on this story again after 40 years. It's still, this story just keeps developing and appearing in different forms. As I said, if you just joined us, there was a few who just joined us. This novel was written 40 years ago by Alice Walker, and it won a Pulitzer Prize in 1983. A movie was made with the same title in 1985. A musical Broadway production ran from 2005 to 2008. Then a Broadway revival opened in 2015, 2017. Now here we are again, 2023. All eyes are on The Color Purple musical, with all of the controversy and the emotions that are being stirred up, that it's a disturbing movie when it comes to certain men in the movie, and on and on and on and on. So there is a divine reason that our attention, once again, for some of us, is on The Color Purple. And that's what our show is about tonight, is to develop the divine purpose of the purple color and the color purple. So it's a twofold, two-level, two-dimensional type of analysis that we're doing tonight. And I want to go into also the Warner Brothers, but I'm gonna open up the mic for the first caller, because this is the mic is open for Brother Kwame Sunhorse. It's important when you watch this movie to remember who's producing it. And do they have an ulterior motive? And I know, Kwame, you sent me a text about the Warner Brothers. In fact, when I was listening to a video, they were calling them the Warner Bros. You know, everybody's a bro now, whatever. Kwame Sunhorse, go ahead. Your mic's open.
Good evening, Sister Viata, and to the family.
Good evening.
And, you know, I sent that because the thing that we're looking at, we're having this thing with Israel and Palestine. And here are 4 Jew brothers opening up on Christmas Day to have us flocking into the movie theaters, paying $15 or whatever charge they charge now to go see a movie and make billions off of this. And the thing of it is, you know, when Cookie, that's the sister that plays in that, I forget her name, but she is absolutely right in the paying of it. And then you get these people to go and you get Spielberg to do this movie the same way Debbie Allen went and got Spielberg to do Amistad. We get these famous directors and folks to come and produce these movies for us to tell our story, but we've got hundreds of producers that we could use, and we could fund our own production of something that it's still portraying, like Boyd Watkins saying, like the first one said, it's telling truth. Yeah, we have generational traumas that went on from generation to generation, but show how do you break the generational curse, not by repeating the movie and making it into a musical. You made it into took it from a novel, and then you take it and put it on film, and then what you're doing is perpetuating, keeping the generational trauma active. You're keeping the poison flowing. We've got to stop supporting our own degradation. Yeah, it's all colorful and that and the other, but how does that free us? Tell me, how does that movie free you? Because, see, the thing that we're looking at, we're going into the age of Aquarius. Alice Walker was born February the 9th, 1944 in Eatonton, Georgia. I live in the town that she is. She was here in 2019 for her 75th birthday and spoke about what her life was living there in that little shack that she lived outside of Eatonton, whose folks were sharecroppers. So, yeah, she has a story, and she told that story, but that story is that has to be the template to say, how do we stop doing this? We'll just keep perpetuating by reproducing it until Hollywood show us how we have our misery. That's what we're doing.
Yes, absolutely. And so that is why.
And Nazareth, one thing, you started off, and the part of it is Joseph and Mary was in Nazareth. They left Nazareth to go to do the census in Bethlehem because that's where Joseph was from, because that was the order of Caesar, not the first child. That came later when Herod said to kill the firstborn. Jesus wasn't even born yet.
Well, there is the energy in the Middle East right now is to find meaning for the suffering, find meaning for what's going on there, and that's the kind of the satire that I saw about this. There's no Christmas in Bethlehem this year because the Christ has left. Let's just say Christ has left the building. That's why this woman is doing this satire.
One question. If they told you that Warner Brothers was going to send money to fund the Israelis, money from here, you're not coming from Warner Brothers, was going to Israel to fund what they're doing to the would you still go see the movie?
Exactly. That's the whole point, is that some people don't even want to hear that, Kwame, because that's going to interfere with their comfort to do what they want to do and enjoy the movie. And as my sisters, everybody's got to hate. There's haters everywhere. And I'm like, no, we're just trying to wake up. But some people don't really want to wake up. So that's exactly the point tonight, is everyone listening, make a decision. When you have enough knowledge, for instance, that Warner Brothers is going to send all that money they make off this movie over to Israel so that they can continue to do what they do, and the United States of America can continue to send bombs over there, do you want to support the activity that's going on here that will do that? So we've got another caller. I'm going to keep your mic open. But let me go to, we got two more callers, 407-797. Your mic is open.
Well, happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa. Who is this?
This is Jonathan. Good night. And how do you do? And how is everybody?
Jonathan Blount, how are you? I'm doing great. How are you? We're enjoying Florida weather, right?
Oh God, it was so beautiful yesterday and today. You know, I have some really conflicted thoughts about, this whole film and this whole movement, and I really from the very beginning, I never liked the portrayal of black men in this film and in this entire story, and I really, wonder if the narrative of the LGBTQ movement and which undergirds the narrative of this whole story is not a part of that entire agenda. And if this is not just another example of the aggression of that movement to normalize and aggrandize that lifestyle, which has accelerated in my lifetime, where it literally has exponentially grown, and media particularly has made a concerted effort to push that agenda in every possible sector. It's like the camera focused in New York in the gay parade, and it said, "We're here, we're queer, and we're coming for your children." And I see that agenda, and I see the satanic agenda, and I see it just pervasively promoted. And I think that the Zionists also have a commingling into that agenda, and it just causes me to wonder and causes me pause. And I wonder if I'm the only one that has this concern about this entire projection.
Oh, I'm absolutely sure you're not the only one. Dr. Boyce Watkins, for one, just hinted at that. Yeah.
No, he's correct, because there's a book out called Gender Genocide. Gender Genocide. This is the whole perpetuation of this LGBTQ, because you're not reproducing when a man's with a man and a woman's with a woman. And so what better way to depopulate a people, get them to change their sexuality, and you don't have to kill them because they're killing themselves.
Well, I was gonna, you know what? Thank you, Kwame and Jonathan. I thought about you today when I was looking at Alice Walker's interview. Have you ever met her? Jonathan is one of the co-founders of Essence Magazine, and I thought,
No, not one of the co-founders, the originating founder. Everything as Victor Hugo said, nothing is so powerful as an idea whose time has come, and it's time for the world to recognize that I was the one that was blessed with that idea. I'm the one who organized the team. I'm the one who recruited them. I'm the one who kept this organization together in its first 2 years of gestation and was its chairman and president for the 2 years that brought it from initiation to profitability in its first year.
Thank you.
I mean, not just one of the founders.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm the originated catalytic founder of the entire enterprise.
Thank you, Jonathan. I'm correct. I stand corrected. And I thought of you because I realized you have met so many women in your journey and in that position as the founder of Essence. Did you ever meet Alice Walker in your journey?
Absolutely. I mean, I was also one of my best and dearest friends was Quincy Trubin. He was president of the Frederick Douglass, Writers Guild in New York, and in that capacity, and I certainly dated a number of major writers and authors, and Nikki Giovanni, and Rochelle Wallace, and Nina Simone, and so forth, and so Verna May Gross, I mean. Marie Brown, who was editor at Doubleday, did Roots. I mean, so I was in that circle, and met. And in fact, I think it's important to note and to emphasize that Essence was the platform that primarily, generated an outlet first and foremost for our major Black writers. I mean, we were the first from 1969 to present our major Black writers, and so she was one of the ones that was a part of that pool. So I mean, I've met and known almost all of the great who became great, because they weren't great when we started with them.
So what was your impression of Alice Walker and her intention to put this story out? What did you feel like she was trying to accomplish by telling her story? Anything nefarious or
no, you please understand that. I mean, at the time of my original contact, I mean, she was not really at that time, anyone that I really, she wasn't really notable. She wasn't really well noticed or known in 1968 and 9 when we began, and when I was in that circle, and 70 and so forth. So there was really nothing to notice. I mean, so she had not reached and achieved a level of prominence at that point.
Okay, so you knew you knew her before her success. You knew her before her successful novel.
Yeah, I mean, it was. You please understand that. Just being around and in the circle of our great writers and journalists and so forth, and authors and novelists, they were not really a part of the real stratosphere of our achievement at that time. I mean, we were, and my concentration was in raising money and selling advertising, going on the Today Show and Voice of America, and organizing supporters and advisory board members and board members. So my concentration and attention was primarily on creating the enterprise and raising the money, and going to get the $250,000 from Hugh Hefner and the $300,000 from John Quincy Adams or John Hancock, and the first $25,000 from Jackie Robinson and Bill Hutchins of Freedom National Bank. I mean, so I swam in different waters.
Okay. Well, let me go. I'm gonna leave your mic open. Let me go to another caller who's pressed 1, because what we're doing tonight is coming to an agreement that we need to move beyond the movie, the musical, The Color Purple, and get into the divine order of the purple color, which is what we're going to, the chakras, for instance. There's a crown chakra in a spiritual, energetic sense that can help us to move beyond the abuses, the incest, and all that Hollywood wants to continue to put in the face of the media, of the public, instead of bringing more uplifting and positive views of a melanin people. So that's where we're going tonight, and I'm appreciating the contributions tonight by Jonathan and Kwame. And if you have a comment or question, by all means, press 1 or place your comment on YouTube or Facebook, and I'll read your comments. 321-368, your mic is open. Hello? 321.
Shalom.
Good, shalom. Mikael, I believe.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Actually, as I'm listening to everybody, as I'm thinking, I think I've shared with you all, I'm very analytical in my thinking. And so at the time I'm listening to people, I'm basically breaking up the puzzle and seeing how the pieces fit back together and make a whole. But anyway, I was thinking as I listened to Jonathan, there's a lot of underlying principles that we could talk all night, other than the hours of this show, because there's a lot of underlying principles involved in what we've been talking about, what you've been presenting tonight. Anyway, one of the things that I was thinking about was I had heard a quote recently concerning Spielberg. Spielberg, from that quote, it said, Spielberg said that none of his movies would he allow his children to see. Now that says a lot to me, because being a person who have written books and so forth, and I've even edited books and stuff as editor, unofficially, of course. But I'm basically, since I've been trained that way, I tend to unconsciously critically look at what I'm looking at on the media, or what I'm reading in the media, or what I'm hearing through the media, or whatever. I'm analyzing, those things. But anyway, okay, one of the underlying principles, I said we could talk all night about different ones, but here's one I want to expound on. And that is, okay, as I saw the first movie. Everybody was talking about seeing it, and so I finally went to see it. But when I saw it, and this is my personal experience, when I saw it, I was really depressed. And here I am in the audience rooting that this man of color, gets his due, and actually is, basically be destroyed or whatever. And so I said that to say this, underlining, I thought about the new movie that's coming out, which is based on the old movie. The principles to me are pretty much the same. And that is this. All right, because when I take into account, as I said, the various pieces of the puzzle, the media is putting, they love to put stuff showing, you got these guys with their britches down, their pants hanging down their butt, showing they behind. You got them, calling they women bees. You got them, and this is what they like to show. Everybody's not doing that, but this is what they like to show, present forward. Okay, cussing, clowning, getting angry, raising hell, all that kind of stuff. So you got all of this going on. Okay, and then what is being said or implied is, look at these people. They're talking about rising up and raining. Are you kidding me? You got to be, look at that. Who's going to allow that to rain? I hope that you follow me. Okay, and so this movie, I haven't seen it. It's the same principle as the first one. Now, but even with that principle, that's not the only principle involved in that movie, because there's other interactions here and there. But that's one of the important things that's being perpetrated on the public, period, globally, so to speak. And so that's why I wanted to address that. But anyway, also, I look at it like this. You can look, and I don't care necessarily to see this second one because I remember the first one. And so I'm like this. Even if you have to go and see it or you feel that you must go, okay, even in the midst of the crisis, or we'll say the detriment of the movie, there can be lessons learned. There can be healing, like you were talking about earlier, Viyata. Healings can be, you can look at these characters and glean from that and actually relate to it, because I'm sure there's people that that fit that ticket. And then, of course, as you look at that, then you can kind of get together, talk about it, talk to yourself about it first, and talk to others about it, and see what you can do to alleviate the situation. I'm gonna shut up. I think I said enough right now. So, I'm done.
Well, thank you for pointing all that out, because that's what I think the average moviegoer doesn't think about those things. They're looking at entertain me. I pay my $12, $15, $20. I think Zelda said it was $20 in Chicago. If I see it, it's going to be a senior discount of $7 or $8, I think. But I just want to form my own opinion. But you're right about that. Is that we already have a society of dysfunction, a society of violence, a society of confusion, men hanging their pants and so forth. So that is why we want to go into, why is this still in our face, The Color Purple? Not just the novel. Go ahead.
Yeah, and my brother just made an excellent point and analyzing the movie. The part that I see is sequel. Yes. Okay, it ended with her sister coming back with them living in Africa and being able to come back to America, and that would have been a sequel to go from there.
Yes.
And see what happened to them after they came back to America. And she introduced the culture of our ancestors to Sealy.
Right.
Absolutely. This is the part, and you want to go backwards, and then you saying that in the part that they got the brothers in the strike, that's the prison industrial complex that they didn't put into a musical.
Yeah.
That's all they did, was put the prison industrial complex into the movie. See, we've got to able to look at what are they giving us and what does it do subliminally, because what we're seeing is I keep going back to, it's dividing, because people will go the same way on December 25th, 2012, walked out of the theater of Django, Jamie Foxx, and that movie. See, they come. Right. Why do they celebrate? This is supposed to be a time of gift giving and honoring the birth of Christ, and you giving us what? Interdetainment. Enter and detain you from growing and what the real piece of the meaning of the day is.
So this is why we're here, brothers and sisters, and I'm so grateful for these three men who are sharing their wisdom and knowledge about this, because otherwise people are going to the movie totally unconscious about the subliminal programming, the ulterior motive. I have to bring this in. If Oprah Winfrey is involved in anything, there should be a red flag that goes up, because there's enough knowledge out here. There's enough history to know who this woman works for. I was talking about this with Mikael earlier about how if you know by now who Oprah Winfrey has been associated with, you know why she's a billionaire now. She didn't get to become a billionaire by just doing TV shows. She was doing some other nefarious works, like, let's just say the trafficking business is very booming thanks to Oprah. So we know that the people involved, the Warner Brothers, the Zionists, anything the Zionists are involved in, you know, it's all about money. So we're not going to get an uplifting, positive message. We're going to once again be deceived, confused, and leave the theater full of popcorn. And wasn't that a nice movie? No, we don't have time to be just entertained by movies. These brothers are pointing out, and I think all of you are in your 70s, I believe. So we've got a lot of wisdom speaking here and history and experience and consequences that they can share when we don't pay attention to the motives of Hollywood and more. So I want to play this next audio about the seventh chakra and the crown chakra, which is a purple energy color, the higher knowledge. And that's what, as Kwame brought out. Thank you, Kwame. Why didn't they continue with how the movie ended, and what was the next step in the life of these people? What was the next higher knowledge that they needed to improve? But Hollywood doesn't want the Black community to improve. They want to keep promoting the prison industrial complex. And that's why it was weird to see the trailer with these prisoners singing and dancing with their prison jumpsuits on. I'm like, what? They're happy now? Happy-go-lucky prisoners? Oh, yeah. So listen to the seventh chakra, what it represents in the purple color. We move out of the colored purple novel, the movie, the musical, Hollywood, and we move into the color, the purple color, which represents the crown chakra.
Hi, I'm Carol Tuttle, Master Energy Therapist and Chakra Mastery Trainer. And welcome to the 7th of our chakra series, talking about our 7 primary chakras. And we've covered all 6 other chakras that start from your pubic bone, and they rise in frequency all the way up to the top of your head, to your crown chakra, which is the focus of today's video. The 7th chakra, your crown center, your royalty, your divine royalty of you, your connection with heaven, your connection with the divine, with God. Now, I want to mention before I get into this that as I reference God, please note that I honor both the Divine Father and Mother in any spiritual path that you're on. So you're just going to interpret that to your own spiritual experience, how you worship and how you feel a connection with the divine. So just know that, and know that I honor you in your experience. Now, for some people, you may not feel a connection with the divine, with the universe, with God. You may not feel that God really cares. You may even have a perception that God's just the taskmaster, that God's not kind, that if you were to surrender to God, you're basically going to get your butt kicked by life, and, you know, God just throws challenge at you after challenge. Now, I had years ago, based on the fact that I'd had a very traumatic childhood, and I took my interpretation of a male authority and I totally wrapped that around God. And I was really angry at God. I was really kicked off at God. I was like, if God really cared about me, why would all of this, why didn't God protect me? Why didn't God show up for me? Why did I have to go through what I went through? So if you've got some anger at God, noted, that's cool. The cool thing about God is he can handle your anger. In the early days of my healing, which is, gosh, we're going back 20 years ago, when I really got on my spiritual path of healing, I expressed my anger at God. I was very open about it. And I did receive the feedback, the inspiration that God wanted me to go there. It's like, give me your anger. Tell me what you're mad about. Go for it. So maybe you need to get it out. Maybe you need to just go for it. And that's going to help open your crown chakra, because it's going to stay closed if you don't believe God loves you and the divine's there for you, and you don't feel that you're going to be enhanced with this divine power and support. And the truth is, God loves you whether you believe in God or not. God's there for you whether you believe God's there for you or not. And there are realms of beings, angelic support that are there for you in every moment and every day. And why not start to feel that? Why not start to feel the support of that? Because it's there. It is happening. So help open up this energy center first. If you're in the place of anger, just step into it, express your anger, write it out, hash it out. Maybe you got to get a phone book and tear it up. I did that years and years ago. I didn't do the phone book. I actually went to the thrift store and I bought all these dishes that were breakable, and I had a place in my basement. It was an unfinished basement. There were cement floors, cement walls, and nobody was around. I had my children away. They were being taken care of. I made sure it was very, very private, and I started to just throw these dishes against the wall and just vent my anger, just and I was angry at God, and I was angry at my whole life, and the whole thing was just hard, and it hurt, and it struggled. Well, those were years ago, and I'm not living that life anymore. It's a whole new world, and that's what's available to you, is you open up to God's love and the divine love that's there for you. So this is the top of the head where this energy center actually vibrates from. It is a funnel that goes from narrow to wide and connects you with the higher frequencies of the universe, so that you have an open channel of communication at all times with the divine, with the realms within the universe. And we want to open that up for you. So let's just start by pulling the energy open, all in a massage scalp right here. If you get headaches a lot, there's a good chance that energy is getting all stuck up here, and you need to get head massages. And gently, start with gentle ones. You need to open up and start stimulating this energy center right in here. I feel good. You're going to usually, it feels really good because it gets the energy moving. Take a deep breath. Kind of spread that open. This energy connects with your pineal gland, which is crystal-like in its formation, that actually the light comes in and then shoots down in through the pineal gland into your body. You want to keep opening that up. It's really good. So a little head massage up there is going to really help get that energy open. Now let's do our ball of light exercise that I've been showing you in each of the previous videos. And the color is amethyst, royal purple. Any color of purple is going to serve you. There's a lot of purples out there. Just go with what feels right. It'll work. Your intention is bigger than any of the processes you use. You want to open your crown chakra, your royal energy center, to know your divine nature and to experience the hand of God blessing your life, literally. Literally. I had an experience once. It was a very beautiful experience. At the end of a meditation, I literally felt like the hand of God came down and touched me on my head just to say, I'm there for you. And it, to this day, I'll never forget that, what that felt like, and the sweetness and the love and the just omnipotent power of God to be there for me. It was awesome. And I want that for you, but we need to get your crown chakra going. So let's rub our hands together, get this energy moving, and let's imagine an amethyst ball, crystal ball of light right here. We're going to take that ball up here. We're going to bounce that ball. We're going to speak these affirmations to honor the truth of this energy center that wants to be open and working for us. This is the script held in this chakra. I am connected with the divine.
I am connected with
God
the
loves
divine.
me.
God loves me.
God honors me.
God honors me.
I am supported by divine love
I am
every moment
supported by
and every
divine
day.
love every moment, every day.
There are myriads of beings
There are
helping me,
myriads of
supporting
beings
me.
helping me, supporting me.
I am experiencing my divine nature.
I am experiencing my divine
I am one with
nature.
God.
I am one with Yah.
I am one with the universe.
I am one with the universe.
I am blessed.
I am blessed.
I am loved.
I am loved.
I'm receiving inspiration.
I am receiving inspiration.
I'm receiving revelation.
I'm receiving revelation.
I am in
I am
communication
in
with my
communication
divine self
with
and
my
the
divine
divine
self
nature of God.
and the divine nature of Yah.
I am trusting
I am
God loves
trusting.
me. I am friends with God.
I am friends with Yah.
I'm in partnership with God.
I am in partnership
God
with Yah.
always has my best interest
Yah
in
always
mind
has
and
my
heart.
best interest in my heart.
I am stepping into the truth
I am stepping into
my
the truth
divine
of
beingness.
my divine beingness.
Take a deep breath. Just imagine that getting very wide. Just an energetic beam. Boom, connecting all the way into heaven. And like a rod, that light, that beam of light going through you, out your tailbone, connecting you with the center of the earth. Feel the peacefulness you feel and the love that God so beautifully and so generously wants to flow to you, to share with you. It's there every moment and every day. I encourage you to go through all 7 of these videos to continue to learn about the power of your chakras. One of the most amazing programs I've ever produced is called my Chakra 7 Home Study course. It will teach you to be the master of your chakra energy centers. And you can learn about it at chakrahealing.com. Each of your 7 chakras holds the blueprint for your abundant life. All that needs to happen to get that going is to open them, to energize them, and allow them to work for you. And your life starts to shift into magnificent, abundant experiences. I see that happening for you. Spend a little bit, just every day, spend a little bit of time on your chakras. And you're going to be so blessed. Thank you for letting.
Now, I met Carol Tuttle years ago, and she was just an amazing teacher, and she was very influential on my journey to become the goddess that I am, and to help me build my self-esteem and to help me be healthier. So I came across her today by surprise, actually, but I remember she used to always teach about the chakras and energy work. And now I want to just encourage you more about wearing the color purple, because a lot of the dysfunction we see in the society we live in, and just dysfunction in the communities that we see that the color purple portrays, and the movie is really about people being unconscious about the colors they wear, even, and how powerful they are. So I found this beautiful history of color about purple, just as an inspiration for you, a reminder of you to choose wisely the colors. If this movie were more conscientious, it would talk more about these type of things: energy work, colors, the colors you wear, how we can uplift the men and the women in our community. Instead, we're seeing more Hollywood production of things that are really not helping us. So here is a very short clip on the history of color, which I thought was just fascinating, and how we can raise our vibration just by being aware.
Welcome back to the Accessible Art History YouTube channel. For today's video, I'm continuing my series on the history of color. This time, it's all about purple. It's a regal color with a fascinating history. So to learn more, keep on watching. Before we get started, let's break down the color itself. Purple is a blend of red and blue. It's often used interchangeably with violet, but there is a slight difference. Purples have more red in their blend versus violets that have more blue. The first use of purple is actually found in prehistoric cave art. One example of this is the Pecmerus Cave in France, dating from between 25,000 and 16,000 BCE. Early humans would blend manganese and hematite powder to create pigments that would be used to paint animals, handprints, outlines, and geometric shapes. In ancient Greece, purple became highly prized. This is because it was incredibly difficult to make. In the ancient Phoenician city of Tyre, now located in modern-day Lebanon, a technique was developed to create a purple dye. It was named for the city and called Tyrian purple. The process involved opening the shells of thousands of Bolanus brandaris snails. Then the snail's mucus would be exposed to the sun. After a while, it turned a vibrant reddish purple that adhered to fabric incredibly well. However, it would take about 250,000 snails to make a single ounce of dye. Even today, archaeological excavations are still uncovering mounds of discarded snail shells. Because of this tedious process, Tyrian purple was extremely expensive. This is how our color became associated with the noble class and royalty, because they were the only ones that could afford it. In fact, 4th century BCE historian Theopompus wrote that, quote, purple for dye fetched its weight in silver at Capelon, end quote. Tyrian purple was used up until the end of the 15th century when the Byzantine Empire fell to the Ottoman Empire. In fact, that's what forced the Catholic Church to change the cardinal uniforms to red. There just wasn't any purple left. In China, purple dye was used for clothing, but it was made with a plant, purple bromwell, instead of snails. Interestingly, purple wasn't as highly prized in the East as it was in the West. It was seen as a secondary color, but was still used in clothing and art. It wasn't until 1856 that a synthetic alternative was discovered. That year, 18-year-old British chemistry student William Henry Perkin was trying to make a synthetic quinine to help treat malaria. However, instead he ended up creating mauveine, which he shortened to mauve. It became an immediate hit, especially after Queen Victoria wore a dress dyed with it. With the rise of the industrial age, purple finally became accessible to everyone because it could be produced cheaply and on a large scale. As I discussed earlier, purple has long symbolized royalty due to its exclusive and expensive status. However, it does symbolize other things too. For example, it's often seen as the most creative of the colors because it's the combination of two opposing ideas, vivacious red and calming blue. The combination also allows for both sides of the emotional spectrum to be accessed. Finally, the lighter shades of purple, like lavender, are often used to symbolize femininity and delicacy. Purple has a fascinating and regal history. Its blend of red and blue make it highly prized, especially since it was so difficult to make. Make sure to keep an eye out for the final video of this series, The History of Orange.
So the color the purple color, we're going to the color purple color has energy in it. The color itself is what our solution tonight to the Hollywood craziness that we can continue to be presented as a entertainment is really not the best solution. There are going to be people who are not going to give up the entertainment of Hollywood. I have a sister who's even texting me now, debating with me about why she should see the movie or not. Whatever. It's not for me. It's not for me to control people's choices. But one more solution I'd like to bring you, which I think is so powerful, the secrets of the crown chakra. This should help you revolutionize your whole thinking and lifestyle.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Spirit Seeking with Pratik on Sound Health Solution. As you might have noticed, we have been speaking about the different chakras, their uses, the symptoms of their blockages, what happens when they are active, what happens when they are overactive, what happens when they are underactive, and so on. And we've also discussed a lot of orthodox and formal ways to heal and treat them, and a lot of informal ways, a lot of interesting and fun ways to strengthen and bind them. As we speak about the chakras, we have moved on to the final chakra present in the physical body. which is the seventh chakra, also known as the crown chakra. As its name suggests, the crown chakra resides on the top of one's head, just like the root chakra connects us to Mother Earth. The crown chakra connects us to the entire universe, to the cosmos, all in one. This is also the chakra that collects energy, pure energy, cosmic energy from existence and distributes it throughout the body, throughout the other chakras, throughout our spinal cord, and throughout the meridians of the body. The crown chakra is also known as Sahasrara chakra. Sahasrara means 1,000-fold. You might have noticed as we moved upwards in the chakra series, the petals on the chakra increased. And once you reach the crown chakra, they are uncountable. They just flow and flow and open and flow. This chakra hence becomes the chakra of 1,000 petals. The endocrine linked with this chakra is the pineal gland. Pineal gland also works for the third eye chakra and is also congruent, is also related to the crown chakra too. The Bija mantra for this chakra is Om. Om is a syllable that works for the third eye chakra too. But in order to connect to the divine, to connect to the superconscious, Om is used. And it takes you to other dimensions and other planes. People who are skilled in spirituality also know when they are leaving this body for good, say when they are dying, if they come out of their final chakra or the seventh chakra, they do not have to take birth again. However, if they are stuck in life due to one or more issues, say fear, greed, lack of love, lack of communication, lack of life energy, then their energy, their spirit exits through the other chakras of the body. But it is well known that if you exit the body through your crown chakra, you enter the highest heavens and you do not have to come back again. As you might have guessed already, this chakra is responsible to making you spiritual. This chakra is responsible to taking your spirit upwards towards higher planes. However, a mild, simple disbalance in this chakra can cause an individual to be obsessively spiritual and hence forget their earthly duties. And we have discussed this before. One needs to be in balance in order to make progress and growth in all aspects of life. Many of us these days lack a trust in life. We lack faith in anything greater than us. Human beings have become pathological. They have started taking everything upon their own hands. And I guess not for the better. They destroy anything as soon as they get them. Just look at the earth. The earth looks like it's been ridden with human viruses. Hence, the significance of this chakra is that it helps you build a faith in life, faith in existence, And until and unless you understand that there's a higher power organizing you, that there's a higher power guiding you, everybody will start thinking of themselves as the greatest power in the universe. And hence, because of this lack of wisdom, they destroy everything around themselves. So in order to build a connection, a trust with existence, you need to work upon this chakra. Once you start working upon this chakra, you find inspiration in littlest things in life. And you start not just believing, not just imagining, but actually seeing the grand design the universe has in store. And only after you see the grand design, understand a bit of it, can you respect it. Hence, instead of just blocking your spiritual antenna, spiritual people suggest that you at least try and open it up by working on your crown chakra. These were some of the information that I knew about the crown chakra. We will speak about the crown chakra much more in the upcoming episodes to come. Until then.
Now, that is just a very short message about the spiritual aspect of this higher chakra. And I would just share, and then I'm going to open up 312-602. My sister Zelda is raised her hand, and then Kwame has another comment, which I want to hear, especially about, maybe he can tell us about some stones, purple stones. But my meditation has opened up my chakras, my crown chakra, in a way that when bees show up in my life, I know without a shadow of a doubt that it is of a divine energy that brings these bees to me at the weirdest, strangest times to tell me that there is indeed a higher power working in my life. That's just one example for me, based on what this young man is saying, that when we open up this higher chakra by meditating, mostly meditation opens it up, and just being aware that spending time with your breath work can help you open up and connect to the universe. And for me, it's been the bees showing up in my life at the weirdest times, telling me there is definitely a divine energy working in my life. And it has a lot to do with my choice to meditate, to breathe, and to spend more time in nature. So let me go to the phones. My sister Zelda, 312-602, your mic is open.
Grand evening, my sister of the purple.
Grand evening.
Looking beautiful.
Looking
just as beautiful as she possibly can. I was like, wow, that's right. We did talk about wearing purple. Well, you talked about wearing purple.
Yes.
They wouldn't see us tonight. Anyway, talking about purple, got a couple of comments on the purple. During my sister's studies, she was studying fashion design back in the 90s. And she was attending the Merchandise Mart here in Chicago. And her instructor of her class wore purple 5 days a week. Wow. She told me that. I was like, girl, nobody wears purple that much. This lady did. She had everything purple under the sun. I mean, from her stockings, her socks, her shoes, her boots, her sweaters, her gloves, her hats.
Wow.
I'd never seen so much purple in my life. And it all looked good. I was like, wow. But her explanation of purple was that only royalty could wear it. And after listening to the video, I'm like, okay. See some similarities here, state of mind. Anyway, I just had to share that about the purple because I just love purple. I have no red in my wardrobe, but I do have some purple. Anyway, talking about Alice Walker getting hit in the eye, who knew at such a young age? And how that was such a blessing in disguise. She got a scholarship to go to college. Who does that happen to? Never heard anything like that in my life. Anyway, that's pretty much. I got a story to share like that tomorrow about my so-called accident with breaking my bones in my foot. Anyway, I'm going to share that tomorrow on Monday Morning Mindfulness, talking about the Christmas crisis. Is it really the best time of the year? So we're going to find out 7 to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and they can tune in on Facebook or YouTube. Oh, and our Instagram channel too. Remember we talked about that? We got we can do on go live on Instagram now. So it's all under Higher Learning TV show. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I am enjoying the show, my sister. Yes, I am.
Thank us. I love that story about wearing purple because, Zelda, that just says a lot about the reaction it gives other people who see the purple. You are blessing other people. I mean, who is not going to smile and have a more positive attitude when you're wearing purple? You get that reaction from people all the time when you're wearing a special color like purple, and it just gets people's attention. It changes their mood. So let's just all go out this week and wear purple. How about we all try and wear purple 5 days a week? Wouldn't that change?
Yes. That it works for me now. I got to go find that means I got an iron. So we'll see.
I don't even use an iron. But thank you so much for sharing that. I love that story. And that shows royalty again. I think the bees show up because they're attracted to royalty. I'm just saying, I don't have any low self-esteem issues anymore. It's like when a bee shows up, that reminds me you are special, you're royalty. And I want all of us here tonight to take away this attitude that we are all kings and queens, and we have a job to do in this crazy society we live in. Kwame Sunhorse, you have news or information about
thanks God for Kwame.
You have news about the color purple and what some of the meaning of the color itself.
Well, I sent it to you, and it's the highest spiritual, but the part that was shared in the clip that you played, she spoke about the first chakra, the lower chakra is red, correct?
Right.
Okay, the throat chakra, where the breath comes out, where you speak, where you do your mantras, is blue.
Right.
When you mix the red, the root chakra and the breath, the energies of those two chakras create the opening of the what? The crown chakra.
Absolutely.
Because when we sit and meditate, if we're sitting on our root and bringing up the energy from the earth into the throat chakra, and we began to say the mantras Om, you're opening up. What's above the throat is the pineal, which is the purple, which is the crown chakra. So in the body, we mix the colors in going up and down the scale in order to bring and change the frequencies in our vessels.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. That is so powerful because I think the whole reason we're still having this novel of Alice Walker presented before us is the universe is trying to help us see the power of the purple color, not just the color purple, the book, but we are being directed in these crazy, crazy times to not look at the movie, but look at the purple color.
The song, The Purple People Eater.
Purple people.
Remember the song, Monster Purple People Eaters?
Oh.
The aliens that came down.
Oh, wow. There
used to be a song, The Purple People Eaters.
Wow. And so again and again and again, we're being reminded, go higher, go higher, go higher. Now we have a comment here from Craig. Hi, Craig. It's always good to hear your voice coming through the words. The 7 cardinal directions and colors: west, royal blue; north, red, east; yellow, south; white, up above; sky blue, down below; Green, last and final direction all around the universe is purple, symbolic of love. Ah, wonderful. More definitions, more focus on the purple color, not the color purple novel. Wow, that's powerful. Let me read that again because that, when you think about the universe and the earth, when the cosmos, we are microcosms of the universe, and you're bringing in the directions, the several cardinal directions and colors: west, royal blue, north, red, east, yellow, south, white up above, sky blue down below, green last and final direction all around the universe is purple, symbolic of love. Hallelujah. And then he says, seventh direction is the individual, the inner universe and external, the micro and macro in Eastern theology. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Eastern theology. Craig, that's so significant as we wind down the show. We have heard more about the quote Jews and religion in the last 2 months than the whole year, I think, in the media. And the Eastern theology that would focus on micro macro is what's missing in the discussion of religious Jews and Arabs and all the media production of war. And I think tonight what we can really fully get from the purple color is that we all can change this war conflict situation if we start taking a higher perspective on theology and religion and come into a spiritual color direction, cosmo, micro, instead of being entertained by Hollywood. Because now we're getting ready to see something interesting with the revelation of what is it, the Epstein list. There's a lot of information coming out about all the people on the Epstein Black Book list are going to be revealed in the next month or early in the next year. The Supreme Court or some court is ordering the revelation of these people on the Epstein child trafficking. And so there's a lot of evil being revealed to us. For what purpose? So that we, the conscious ones, I believe, can start or can continue teaching even stronger message about Eastern theology, micro, macro, come out of the traditional teachings of religion and become more and more aware that what this society, what our world needs now is more spiritual teachings of micro, macro, and what Craig just mentioned, the seventh directions. And Kwame, before we go, I wanted to know what are some of the crystals other than, I know lavender is one, but what do you have any recollection of purple in the crystals that can help people?
You have amethyst. Amethyst is a good protector. Right. You got amethyst. You have let's see. You got sugarlight. You got jade, lavender. You got what else? Sugarlight, lavender, quartz, labradorite. Labradorite is an excellent one because it's a deep. Some of it's blue and some of it's deep blue, which is almost like a purple. But amethyst is a protector, and this is the sign of that's our birthstone. Amethyst.
Yes.
Pisces.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And then you have lavender, you have blue jade, you have quartz, labradorite, lavender. So those are that. And then you also have violet, you have lotus oil and chamomile. These are different oils that can be used for the spiritual chakra.
All right. So we are now entering into such a powerful, powerful transition. Oh, by the way, I think are we in a full moon tonight? It was
No, the full moon is the 26th. The full
okay.
moon is on the 26th, is on Tuesday.
Okay, so this week we're going to go into a full moon. So this is the preparation time right now for us to really start meditating and receive that energy from the moon that is continuing its or ending its waxing period with a fullness this week, so that we can celebrate Kwanzaa, we can celebrate so many more spiritual events that will help us open up this chakra. I think I have another caller here. Go ahead.
Okay, one part that's having is this is ritual. Why are they opening up on the 25th? Because that day is leading into the full moon on the 26th. So that energy is like this when you have a full moon, you create things to go crazy, to have different effects on the human consciousness when you have a full moon as opposed to a new moon. So they've already programmed this to be in that event of opening that film up on a full moon. It's a ritual.
Yep. So let us be aware of that. I know, Jonathan, did you press 1 again? Did you have another comment, Jonathan?
No, I just wanted to be in the queue.
Okay. And thank you for your holiday greeting. It's so nice to hear your strong voice. Jonathan has had some major health challenges that he's overcoming easily, right? Because you're such a strong mind and such a loving heart, right?
And good practitioners, and excellent advice, and a lot of great support.
Yes, yes, and that's the key. Whenever our body speaks to us about imbalances, discomfort, dis-ease, Jonathan is has been a great teacher for me to gather the right support. He has a great support in his daughter and her family, and then he has had so many people in his life who are supporting him on his journey to get well. And so all of you, please be reminded that the Female Solution is here for you as a major support in whatever you're going through. We have some of the most amazing women who are dedicated to coming on for 2 hours throughout the week to share our knowledge and our experience and our wisdom. Most of the women are seniors, and so we have lots of experience to share with you on how we got over, basically, and how we recovered, and how we are staying well in these tumultuous, heavy, insane times. So again, thank you all for joining me tonight, and I hope you'll share this information with others who might be questioning whether they should go see this movie or not. And if you do see them go and see the movie, I always go to the movies and I try and miss all the violent premiere advertising, because if you go to the movie too early, you're going to be bombarded with all these violent movies that are going to just put you in a total imbalance mentally, visually, and all that. So try and get there a little after the start of the program, and always ask Creator to give you insight on what this message is, the deeper, higher message of this movie is. I've been doing that for the last 10, 15 years whenever I go to the movie. What is the higher message that I need to get out of this movie? Not just to be entertained. That is not what we do these days. It's just we're in such serious transitional times. Please, please, please don't do anything. Don't just sit and be entertained, but ask yourself, what is the higher message? What is the divine purpose that someone created this entertainment and that you are now sitting, enjoying, or paying attention to? Because everything we pay attention to should cause an increase and an evolution in our soul journey that we're on. So any final comments, Kwame, or let's see, Jonathan's mic. If not, we're going to play our final greeting and wish you all a very safe.
And
go ahead.
I wanted to, if you wanted to look at the movies or whatever, is overstanding is to enter and detain you. The thing that you have to look at, there's always a subliminal and an underlying message in what they produce, because they can't hide the truth. They have to give you what their next agenda for us is. See it as it is. It's entertainment, but also dissect what you're seeing and be able to use your inner intuition to understand that this is not for our highest good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't go in there mindless and unconscious. Go into the theater with a purpose to 90 seconds. And I believe 773-450, you have about 20 seconds. What's your word?
Okay, my word is this. It's so interesting to me how we're always looking for somebody to create our vision. Whatever happened to living out your own vision that's made specifically only for you in the universe? So we don't have to live a movie or a play. We have a whole 60 seconds with all the excitement, and it's the real thing, not just something on the screen you got to pay for. After all, the most valuable things are the ones that you don't have to pay for anyway. Wonderful show.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Brother Obadiah. Have a beautiful week. Stay safe, stay warm, and whatever you do, everyone you face, try and give them a smile, because it really does change the health of people when they see smiling faces. Smiling faces and maybe a loving word. So everybody, thank you and have a great week. And we're going to say thank you to our global family now who I just love, and especially to our friends in the Middle East, our brothers and sisters. Stay strong, and may the Most High protect you all.
Listen to our radio shows, order our books, and be sure to get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussion. And to our global family listening from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, Sheshe.
Sheshe.
India, Zanyaba.
Zanyaba.
Japan, Arigato.
Arigato.
Korea, Kamsahamnida.
Kamsahamnida.
Russia, Spasiba.
Spasiba.
Germany, Danke.
Danke.
Poland,
Jean-Quignon.
France, merci.
Merci beaucoup.
Spain, gracias.
Gracias.
Italy, grazie.
Grazie.
Egypt, shukran.
Shukran.
Ghana, medasi.
Medasi.
Nigeria, eshe.
Eshe.
South Africa, Niabonga.
Niabonga.
Senegal, Jerez. Kenya, asante.
Asante.
Israel, todas. Pakistan, shukriya.
Shukriyan.
Afghanistan, tashakkur. Saudi Arabia, shukran.
Shukran.
Salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you. And may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Olivia. Do as the trees do during wintertime, a very wonderful time to meditate and stay warm. Self-reflection, all of those things are more important than being entertained by a movie. So namaste to all my yogi friends out there. Namaste and Sat Nam. And of course to Hawaii, Maui, Aloha, aloha. Stay strong, Lahaina. Stay strong. We love you. We send much love and healing to the people on Maui and Lahaina. Mwah. Shalom.